Introduce us to
Perfect.
yourself.
Okay. My name's Brian. I am a content creator, Brian Gurley. I'm a content creator and I'm the owner and creator of the Casual brand. I'm also the host of the Casual Take show. And yeah, I do everything social, everything online, everything digital, as well as make music. So do a little bit of everything.
Did I know that?
I don't know. It's I I actually went to school for music and I
Yes.
produce music for like TikTok. I actually did a pretty big deal with TikTok last year. Yeah, so um,
Because
I
you
don't talk about it a lot.
because you play the saxophone and you perform in a
Yes,
band. I can't believe I forgot that.
right, right. I mean, I don't play in bands that much these days. I mean, well, no one's playing that much because of
Yeah,
COVID. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think when this last week I was playing my saxophone on some commercials. So yeah,
That's so cool. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the hard question, the really, really tough question. Let's just go ahead and rip the
okay,
bandage off. Okay.
let's do it. Let's
Why
do
do
it. I'm
you
excited.
why do you hate Goku? You do though. You're always riding him
No,
on your TikTok, yo.
so okay, this is the deal. It's not that I hate Goku. I know everything I say and do. I always try to make sure there's a measure of truth in it. So I do think Goku, even though he was like our hero as kids, he's not as good as some of the new MCs. He's one dimensional. The plot to Dragon Ball is the same thing every time. Someone I'm strong. Oh wait, there's someone stronger. Now I have to get stronger. I'm stronger than him. We're happy and we're eating. Oh wait, now there's a new strong person. So, well, the reason why I ride Goku on TikTok so much is because all the Goku fans, they go so crazy. They just get so angry, and it absolutely makes me laugh. I think it's hilarious. It's not that deep to me, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until I try to make it more obvious now that I'm making fun, but still, people don't get it. So it's not that I hate Goku. I love Goku. I just think that it's hilarious how people react on TikTok.
It's
So
so funny. Your comments are. I'll read the comments and I'm like, oh crap, did I like it? I'm like I gotta go back and like it. Okay, so you are a brown belt in jujitsu.
no, I wish. Jeez. I'm a blue belt. I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
How long have
I
you been
probably
doing it?
should. So that's what I probably should have my brown belt at least because I've been doing it for at least 6 years. But the problem for me was I started in Orlando with my best friend who has a gym. There's a lot of UFC fighters out of that gym. And then I would go back and forth between Orlando and New York. And it took me a long time to find a gym in New York that I can consistently train at because they don't give you a belt or stripes even if you can't be there consistently. So I'd be there for like 2 months, a month. And so now last year I finally started training consistently. And so I've been able to get my belt promotion. But I'm probably like a low level purple belt right now, but
Can you tell us some of
you
the
know,
health benefits and mental benefits of training that?
oh man, I think I cannot recommend jujitsu enough. I think that it's a total body workout. You know what I mean? Every part of your body is going to get worked, and also you get what you put in. So you can still be out of shape in jujitsu, but if you're really putting in work, you're going to get a total body workout, insane conditioning. Um, I remember multiple times I've lost like 15 to 20 pounds doing jujitsu, just jujitsu. And then as far as like mentally, it's chess. It's chess with your body. If one person does something, then as you get better, you start to realize, okay, I need to do this, or you start to try to do things to, get a reaction from them. So for me, it's a mental. I think Joe Rogan calls it a mental No, is it a physical meditation?
Yeah.
I think that's how he refers to it, and I think it's a good way to think about it. I don't feel like I'm like working like crazy. I kind of feel like I'm flowing, especially when you get to roll with higher belts. I don't know how it is at your school, but rolling with higher belts really has a great flow. And so I love jujitsu. It kind of drives me crazy that I can't do it right now. I know some people are doing it, but I'm personally waiting out. Actually, I can't even do it because my school is still closed down here in New York.
Mm.
So they tried to open it up, but then they said no group classes. So I'm still waiting it out.
Wait, so are you guys still shut down in New York?
So New York is the opposite of Florida. Florida, with respect to shutting down. Where we're at right now is 25% capacity for restaurants, um, and then 25%, I think it is, for inside gatherings. So whatever the capacity is for your restaurant, but they're allowing gyms to open, but not anything that's group classes. So jujitsu's out. Um, Really, they don't want people doing boot camp classes, but they've kind of got around it by just saying these are individual workouts happening at the same time. So they tried to open up. I was on board to give it a try, but they said no. So we're still waiting.
Interesting. All right. Well, so that means we can't grapple anytime soon. Darn it.
Well, if I come to Florida, because you're down. I don't want to say South Florida. You're
I'm central.
technically Central Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm central.
So I'm in Central Florida too. So I mean, like, I might have to pop by your dojo,
Remember,
see what that stripe, see what that stripe's about.
every time I grapple with someone with a higher belt, I'm like, remember, this is my first time. Okay. All right. What are your thoughts on UBI, Universal Basic Income, for those of you who don't know what that is?
I'm a huge fan. I was a huge Andrew Yang fan,
Yeah.
and I was going hard in the paint for Yang. I think that this year has been great because a lot of the things that everyone thought we couldn't do or shouldn't do are like taboos, like, oh, if you work from home, you won't be as effective, or we can't work from home, or the government can't do this and that, and we're doing it. People are working from home. We're being forced to innovate, and I think UBI is one of those innovations that has been there for us that we didn't act on. And a lot of countries like Canada, for example, they gave out 2,000 a month, and it's working for them. And now the people are saying, hey, we like this, can we continue? And the government's like, well, yeah, I think we can. So I think that there was this idea, one, we can't afford it, and two, if we do it, it's going to make like a welfare system. I'm okay with the welfare system. I'm of the personal belief that we don't have to work at a job to earn the basics for living. I'm okay with us looking out for everybody because we're one country under God. I'm okay with us. There's enough money to make sure that everyone has food to eat, everyone has a place to live, and everyone has access to health care. And the idea that people would say was, well, Brian, if you did that, you're going to take away people's motivation. People are going to become lazy,
Yeah.
dependent. I reject that notion. I don't think that not having to worry about being homeless or what I'm going to eat is going to cause me to just want to sit on my butt all day. I think that people who want to sit on their butt all day are going to find a way to do that and do that. You know what I mean? It's just like we're not all the same, but I do think we all deserve to do to have our basic needs met. And this whole narrative that it's better to have a job, it's better to provide for yourself. I think that's just the narrative that helps keep putting people into the machine, keeps making people cogs, having people working at the gas station or McDonald's. No shade to anyone who works at that. I worked at McDonald's. I'm just saying that to me, there's nothing righteous about working and being a cog in those type of jobs. So I think universal basic income is great. We shouldn't have to be afraid. I mean, so many people are living check to check. I know people that were making $90,000 a year, And I'm sure that if you think you're making 90,000, you feel like you're secure.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit, and everything they had was gone.
Wow.
So this idea that we have that we're secure, it's just it's the matrix, man. You don't have no security unless you're doing it on your own and you got your savings gains right. So that's, I mean, that's a long answer for what
No,
I
that
think
was
about universal basic income.
that was a perfect answer. The way I saw it was that the UBI would be a way to not only build a savings, but also to work on your dreams. If you have
Mm,
that kind of aspiration, it would go towards your business, you know.
right,
Um,
right.
Great
That's
answer.
absolutely true. And if you are someone who's working, now you can put savings together. Now you can invest in starting your own small business. I mean, there's just so many benefits to where you are, at life. I mean, yes, the people that are way up at the top, they probably don't care. But I mean, I know a lot of people that it would make a big difference to have an extra 1,000, 1,200, or whatever they decided.
So now on the contrast, do you believe that there should be a wage cap?
Um, I like Andrew Yang's reason for not doing that because you don't want to have the stigma of people taking UBI and feeling lesser than. If everyone gets it, then there's no welfare queens or kings or whatever. This concept, it's just something that we all get as Americans. So there's no shame attached to it. So I do understand the idea that some people don't need it, but I think the better point, the better issue is making sure that there's no issue of shame attached to it, to where people can say, "Oh, you get UBI, so you must be lesser than."
Hmm.
So,
So let's talk about Trump's taxes.
okay,
That's been all
750.
over your feed the past, I guess, 24 hours, 48 hours. I don't remember when they announced it. What are your thoughts on that? And can you explain to us why his taxes are so low? Tax
So,
payments, forgive me.
that's no, you're good. So my thoughts on that are, I was I, I was not surprised that
Yeah,
he didn't pay taxes.
yeah, not surprised.
What was surprising to me, and I think it's surprising to a lot of people, is that he paid 750, and I thought that was interesting because I'm just wondering what he could have done in a $1 million year. Let's just say he made a million. I'm sure he says he makes more to end up with 750. It's just such a random number, but it just, to me, it just shows that it's not right. Something's not right. It's the smoke, you know, that makes you say, I got to investigate what's going on here. Um, the real issue, I've seen multiple. You're from Florida, just like me, so a lot of my friends are like, "What's the big deal? He has a good tax accountant or whatever lawyer." I'm like, the big deal is this: one, he's claiming to be a great business person, but he has nothing but losses. Two, it seems like he's not that great. Let me word this right. It seems like he's gaming the system as far as like not doing his share, not paying his share of taxes. And so, you know, I paid more taxes than him multiple times, and he's not paying his taxes. It's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I get a sense that he's living this life that he hasn't earned, and it's coming at the expense of taxpayers because if you're not paying what you should be paying, that money, we still need that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so so everyone's suffering, and it's not just Donald Trump.
No.
A lot of rich people are doing this. I don't know if they're doing it to this degree though, it's why he's hiding it. It's the only reason why he won't come out and just show what his taxes are exactly, because he knows that it exposes him for not being a good business person. It exposes him for somebody who owes a lot of money. It exposes him for not being who he says he is. He's not somebody pulling his weight, and his what we do know of his tax returns reeks of dishonesty. 70,000 for hairstyling, almost I believe it's almost 900,000 to his daughter for consulting while she was already on staff being paid. Why are you paying somebody a consulting fee if they're already on staff being paid? You know what I mean? There's just a lot of shady stuff going on in report. So for me, it's just partially what I already expected, but then also the 750 just really kind of, I don't know, it stood out to me. That number stood out to me like, okay, this guy is just really not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So the people are disputing it. I don't know. I think if they said an exact number and it wasn't true, just show the truth. You know what I mean? That solves the problem. But that's just me.
Word. I don't know why I wrote this down, but you had to have posted something about this. And I was like,
Okay.
because sometimes when I'm writing down questions, I do it when I'm tired in bed and I'm delirious. Next morning, I'm like, why did I write this down? But I wrote this down for a purpose. So I'm going to say it out loud.
Okay. Okay.
Can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
Oh, wow. Wow. I wonder what I said.
I wonder too.
Wow. That's an interesting question. Wow. You stopped me. I think I like to think I like to think that everybody uh has the potential to grow. I don't think that you are a hoe, even if you're behaving hoishly. I don't think we are our worst behaviors. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of referring to people as hoes or anything that might be negative, just because at that moment they're behaving that way. Um, who's to say who's a hoe even? I don't really. Yeah, yeah, of course. The answer is of course, because no one's a hoe. It's just you might be behaving scandalously, but yeah, I mean, now if somebody shows themselves to be a certain type of way, you can't be surprised if that behavior continues. You know what I mean? So if she or he or she belongs to the streets, when you meet them, they might stay in them streets. But I don't. I've never seen. I'm trying to think of somebody that I've seen that was like one way, and then they just couldn't change. I've never seen anybody. I think that when you meet the thing in your life, there's always something in life worth changing for. And so I think that even a hoe can be a housewife. But what is a housewife nowadays? Is it somebody staying at home cooking? I mean, I'm sure hoes can cook, but
I'm sure.
it's that's
That's
such a
not what you say.
I don't, I mean, like, I don't know what part. If the thought is, can these hoes be loyal? Then I don't know. That's one question. But of course, a hoe can be a housewife and clean and do everything. I just don't know if she would be the housewife for me. But hey, it's 2020, man. People are wide open. They got different thoughts and approaches for it.
That was a
That's
very
such a crazy question. I love that question.
that was a very Jordan Peterson answer of you.
I was trying to be. But I really believe it. I really believe. I hate every time someone's labeled by their behavior. I'm not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
We are not our best behavior. And if somebody labeled me by like all the worst things I've did, it would just be awful. Can you imagine walking around with the worst thing you've done as the label for who you are?
Yeah.
It's just like, man, that's we are not that. We can be our best selves and we can be our worst selves, but we are not either. If I do a deal and it makes me $1 million, it doesn't mean, it's like he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire. No, he's somebody who's generated that much wealth, but that's not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who they are. That's not who he or she is. It's just something they did. But we like to associate people with things that they've done. You know, LeBron is not a basketball player. He plays basketball. He's also a businessman. He's also a father. And so we oversimplify in good and bad ways. And I just think it's lazy. It's a lazy thing. So
So
I don't know.
if you guys are loving these gems by Brian Gurley, he's here on Facebook. Obviously, you're gonna add him. He's also on Instagram, Brian Gurley as well. He also has a TikTok as well, Brian Gurley. But he also goes lives daily-ish,
Monday through Friday, 12-ish.
12-ish. So if
12-ish.
you enjoy these gems, keep watching them. Um, so what are your thoughts on Spotify employees trying to censor Joe Rogan?
So I think everybody just needs to calm down.
Yes.
Like I am 100% against cancel culture. I think that it's what it's trying to do is trying to give yourself a bigger reach than what you actually have. So, like a hilarious thing for me was like when they canceled Roseanne. The majority of the people asking for it to be canceled don't even watch the show. Why do you care? Why are you trying to take that away from people? If you don't like Roseanne, if you don't like somebody, if you don't like whatever, you don't watch it. You don't support it. And if someone asks you, then you can tell them about it. But other than that, just don't do it. You know? So I I love Joe Rogan, but I don't agree with everything that he says.
No.
I think that some of the stuff that he says, like for example, I don't like hearing him say the N word. I understand why he's doing it, and I don't feel like he's being hateful when he does it.
No.
I just think that I don't like hearing it. It rubs me wrong, and so that's not a reason to throw out everything he does. These people at Spotify, I just think we've become brats. It's like if you don't agree with something, that's fine. We are so diverse. How can you expect all of us to have like a similar opinion? And if this idea that canceling people, it's going to get to you. It's going to get to everybody. If you get a platform, they're going to come for you. So don't think that you can do it today and be fine tomorrow. It's going to get to you. So we just need to calm down with all this canceling, all these people. I mean, but it's tough. It's a tough thing because like I agree with the engineers that did it for Facebook when Mark Zuckerberg was kind of changing his direction. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I support their right to voice their opinion. I just am tired of all the canceling because at the end of the day, we're going to have nobody or just very, very extreme people saying crazy stuff on the internet. So I was very happy when Joe Rogan did that deal with Spotify. I think Spotify needs to be quiet though too because a lot of people are not happy with Spotify,
Honestly.
and everyone's always trying to cancel Spotify, but they can't because it's $10 for all the music. That's the thing. Everyone talks, but then when it gets down to it, they're not going to leave Spotify. They need that money. They got a good gig. They're not going to quit Spotify. People aren't going to stop listening to Joe Rogan. They love him. So I get it. I get why they're doing it. I wish people would stop trying to extend their reach and just be happy. You don't like it? Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Simple as that.
So I was mentioning earlier before you came on, but you're a fantastic chef.
Oh,
So what's your
yeah.
favorite dish to make?
Well, okay, this is gonna sound like cliche, but my favorite dish to make is a new dish because I don't know how it's gonna turn out.
Oh,
Um, and that's the exciting part, like I going into the lockdown, I thought, okay, well, let's figure out, little things I can do to improve myself. And one of those was cooking. Um, and so I would say my tastiest dish right now currently is my chicken parmesan, which is amazing. But yeah, I just love cooking new dishes because it's exciting, it's terrifying. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And the hard thing for me is I've been pushing myself to cook new things that I don't normally eat. Like, so before this year, I've never had Alfredo. Um, I'm just like strictly red sauce,
Mm-hmm.
marinara or bolognese. But I said this year I want to learn, so I made lemon chicken and then had an Alfredo sauce.
Oh.
And yes, it was delicious, but I wasn't sure if it was right. Like if you ask me about like buffalo wings, I can tell you, yes, the sauce is on point, but with the Alfredo sauce, I didn't know. So, yeah, so I love cooking new dishes. That's like my favorite thing.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. Okay. Can you tell us some marketing strategy secrets, mainly for selfish reasons?
I think I'm gonna go Gary V on this. No, I'm gonna go a mix of Gary V and Seth. You need to be thinking about the people, what they want. Like I think everyone they think about how to get it to everybody
Yeah.
first. That's wrong. You need to think about how to get it to somebody, connect to somebody, and then they will slowly be your disciples. So rather than trying to get it to everybody at one time, just try to get it to 5 people and try to be and just try to make it amazing for those 5 people, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to sell, whatever you're trying to establish as your brand. Just connect with 5 people and then be meaningful to those 5 people. And those 5 people will tell, 1 or 2 people, and that's how it spreads. I think that everything nowadays, I hate how everything is designed because it's like I'm not trying to be crass, but everyone wants to skip the date, the getting to know each other and go straight to the bedroom.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel all sales. That's how I feel all sales are. And so, yeah, you might get lucky a couple of times, but you're not going to get anything meaningful. And so, marketing to me, I almost don't even like to market because I feel like halfway through the conversation, people are talking about, okay, but how can we get them in the bed? No, no, no. Don't try to sell them straight away. Be meaningful. Be meaningful to somebody and understand what it is that they need. If you're trying to sell somebody something, you need to know what it is that they need. So I think that I'm going more into branding, but I think branding makes marketing easy. Um, don't get ahead of yourself. Like and make sure that you're actually doing something or providing something. Because I think I see a lot of people trying to market and sell and expand or scale nothing. They're not doing anything. I don't. For me, the best thing is get their attention, find out what they want, find out how you can provide what they want. That's it. That's the simplest way I can describe it. Marketing is tricky because I feel like the best way to do it is slower, and everyone wants it fast.
Yeah.
So that's why they're coming to you for marketing. They want to try to do something fast, but I think slow, consistent, meaningful interactions, they add up. It's just compound interest. That's why, like, if I show up every day, like you're showing up, you're doing your show. If one person watches every day, pretty soon it'll be two, pretty soon it'll be five, pretty soon it'll be 10. But you got to show up every day. So that's like one thing I never do. For example, I never put a post up and tag all my friends
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I hate that.
people do it all the time,
Yeah.
and it's you're trying to cheat it. You're trying to skip the system. My friends can see if I go live, they can show up. They'll get there, and I'm believing that it's that quote like never don't overestimate what you can do in a day and underestimate what you can do in a year. It's like a month. The days switch around. So let's say a month. Don't overestimate what you can do in a month and underestimate what you can do in a year. I'm always playing for the year. Always playing for the year. Always go long ball. I think that's the best way. Branding, So like, okay, for example, what are you trying to market?
I don't know.
So that's the first thing,
Yeah, I know.
you know, like figure out what it is that you're trying to market. And it's okay to not know, you know. I see people, all these like gurus online, and they're not really telling people how to market anything other than how to teach people how to market. It's like, I'm gonna teach you how to sell to people, to sell to people, to sell to people, to sell to
Hmm.
people. But then you get down the chain and you realize they haven't sold anything.
Yeah.
Nobody's sold anything. They're just teaching people how to sell things. So first thing you got to do is figure out what it is that you're selling. I'm working with somebody right now on selling a e-course for mothers. And so we just sat down and we figured out, well, what problems are you trying to solve? And then let's try to think about the people that are having these problems. And then where can we find those people at online, organically and by paid methods. So it's just sit down, figure out who you're trying to help and how you can help them. And that could be just motivating them, encouraging them. That can be giving them facts. That can be entertaining them so that they have, um, some entertainment. There's tons of ways you can go at it, but you have to first sit down and say, who am I trying to help? Or you can go, what can I do to help people? What kind of people need this help? Who are the people that need this help? Who are the people that need to be motivated? And how can I motivate people in the best way? Once you figure that out, then it's just a matter of finding those people slowly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is good. This is really good stuff, yo. Okay. Second to final question. What is the greater
Uh-oh.
good for society?
Hmm. For me, the greater good is based on my faith. I believe we're here to love and to serve. I think that if you look at life through a lens of being a servant and someone who loves, then it changes the way you treat people. It changes the way you you take offenses. It changes the way you speak about people. My pastor preached this Sunday. He said, you know, what's your ratio? Are you talking bad about people more than you're praying for them? Because if so, then you're off. So I just try to I try I try to be the devil's advocate all the time, and just say, okay, well, they have their opinion. That's fine. I can understand that. But I just think that we're missing a lot of love, and uh, I'm looking out. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm looking out with respect to COVID, and I hear people talking about like their rights and and their suffering because they have to stay at home and their businesses. I don't hear a lot of we're suffering.
Yeah.
Because everyone's losing businesses, everyone's lost loved ones, everyone's dealing with the mental health during this crisis that's jacking up so many people. And I hope that there's going to be resources for people afterwards. But it's they're looking at themselves. But I hear a lot of me, what I deserve, what's happening to me. And there's not a sense that we're in this together. That's what I thought was going to happen. I was actually really excited because I was like, wow, this is scary, but it's an opportunity for us to come together and face this thing, similar to 9/11, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened. It wasn't like after 9/11, you didn't see people in New York saying like, I I suffered, you know, I'm gonna have to build my store back. It was like, no, man, it was we. The United States was attacked. It wasn't just New York, even New York City, it was we. And so I think that we need to remember that you know, we are all here to love each other, and we are all servants. And when you think about it like that, it helps you to live with empathy, I think.
It's a beautiful answer. Beautiful. Okay, so where can we like you, follow you, stalk you, all that fun stuff?
You know, the Casual Brian on Instagram, Brian Gurley on Facebook, Monkey D Brian on TikTok. Uh, just Google Brian and YouTube. I can't remember what my YouTube handle is. I've changed it so many times. Uh, I just give up on YouTube every couple of months because it's just so difficult.
Stop. Who
But
you
you know,
telling?
I mean YouTube is so good. That's why it's still the premier in my opinion. I think if you don't have uh like a good setup, then Instagram is a really good thing to do because it had organic reach. We'll see how long it lasts, but YouTube is still the top dog, and so I don't take it offense. I don't take offense to how difficult it is to get in to break into
Of
YouTube.
course.
I still think they give lots of people shots, and I see people come up out of nowhere. So yeah, that's where you can find me. I have a WordPress, but I haven't used it in a long time. I have a podcast, Casual Takes. You can look up Casual Takes on Spotify, uh, on Spotify, or just Google Brian. Make sure you look for the podcast though, because I have some music available on Spotify too. So unless you want to listen to the music,
Listen
you're
to
more than
both.
welcome to listen to both. Right? You know, I'm all about it.
And you've been in the game, I feel like the longest. I don't remember how we found each other.
I don't remember either. I was actually, yeah, I was trying to remember. I felt like
Because I know
maybe a
you used to do a
comment.
lot of advice on like how to grow your channel. And I remember one day I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna message him because I'm always terrified to message people who are like really popular
Oh.
because they're gonna be like, who the fuck are you? You know?
Never, never that. Never that.
But I always appreciate your kindness, your friendship. We're friends, right? Are we friends?
Yes, we're absolutely
Okay,
friends,
that'd
of
be so
course.
awkward. Oh my God.
Although I was like when you went like missing for like half a year or so, I wrote you a message because I was like, hey, you know, I haven't seen you online for a long time. I was like, I hope all's good. And then you came back and I said, okay, everything's good.
Yeah, I was lost, but now I'm found trying to be.
Right.
But yeah,
Oh, I do. I wanted to talk about that one thing real quick about, I used to talk about growth and stuff. Well, I did talk about it a little bit. I I I realize I don't want to talk about Instagram growth and social media growth my whole life. You know what I mean? I would be miserable doing
yeah.
that. So I pulled back and I said, okay, let me make. There was a great video. It was a jujitsu guy. His name's Chewy. You should watch his channel. Jujitsu on YouTube. Great
Jujitsu.
channel. Jujitsu, like chew and jitsu. Uh, his mentor told him, you have to design the life you want to live, and that's something I realized a year or so ago. I wasn't designing a good life to live. It was going to make me, I was possibly going to be successful. I was going to possibly be someone who's going to have a good following and a good base, but then I would be miserable. Like a lot of these content creators I've been seeing recently, they don't know what to talk about because there's only so many ways you can tell people how to change their stories around, how to post, what post schedule you should do. You know what I mean? Like that's, after a while people start to realize, oh, there's not much to say. And even if you're funneling and taking them to your advanced class where you're going to give them like one more secret, that's not going to make me happy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wake up in the morning happy to tell people how they can grow on Instagram. I can grow on Instagram, and if we interact, I'll tell you. I don't care. I don't need a class. I don't need a platform. I can tell people how to grow, and I can always tell people what I did. But I decided I wanted to do more, and then I can tell people what I did, what I've done. This is what I've done. You are welcome to try it. It might work. It might not work. You can just take a couple pieces. But this whole like guru system It's both good and bad.
Yeah.
It's free information, and so it helps people to grow for free so they can change their life like it did for me. But at the same time, it, it's dangerous for those creators because you're pigeonholing yourself. You're gonna hit the wall. And I've seen a couple people hit the wall and have a little bit of a breakdown. And I'm like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think you were going to be able to talk for 10, 20 years about how to grow on Instagram? You
Yeah.
know, like, so that's why I pivoted out of being a social media person. I want to be a life person. I want to be a person that does things and tells people how I did it and what I did and what you should try and what you should avoid, you know, whether that's on Instagram or on TikTok. Like, that's why instead of, I can make videos right now about what you should do on TikTok. I know a lot of things, but I'm focusing on building a community. They're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And then if someone comes to me and wants to know about what I did, I can tell them easily. But that's because I've done it. You know, with Instagram and YouTube and some of that stuff, I was like learning, trying, seeing what works, and then sharing that. But I can't really say I was doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have like massive growth on YouTube. I had pretty good growth on Instagram. Um, so I could share that. I felt more comfortable. So I'm always the type of person that I feel more comfortable telling people how to do things that I've done and not just expand and not just say theories. I see a lot of people out there telling people what they should do, but then you check them out and it's like they haven't done it. So I just wanted to say that because I think
No,
it's important.
no, I appreciate you sharing that. And I appreciate you taking out the time to talk to me because I know that you're a very busy man.
Hey, always have time to talk to you. I can't believe we scheduled this so far in advance. That's like the opposite of how I work.
Oh, really?
I'm so I'm like when you hit me up for it, I was like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow or the next day. You're like, oh, I'm actually booked
No, I mean, don't
for
make
the
it sound like
for the
that.
for the month. I mean, you know, I am actually quite busy, so how dare you assume that I could just throw off my schedule? I was like, dang, okay, jeez,
Whatever. But I do want to do this
amateur over
again.
here.
Can we do this again next year?
Yes,
Please, 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 please stay alive. Please stay safe. I'll be so mad at you if you don't stay safe and we don't do this next year. I'll be so pissed at you.
yo, we got to do it. We
Okay.
will do it.
Okay. And the next year we'll just
Thank
be
you
in our
so much for having
mansion.
me. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll probably be in New York still, so no mansion for me. But hey, maybe a 2 or 3 bedroom, I'll take it.
All right. Brian, thank you so much for watching. Y'all, I'm so for real though when I say please, please follow his work. It's not only very educational, but it's super entertaining. His TikTok videos are just hilarious. You'll just find yourself scrolling, 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 and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be working right now. My bad. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for your time, Brian. I'll message you later, okay?
Thank you, Ashley.